I'm speaking today about social media and employment law. I've been getting many inquiries lately from people who were terminated from their jobs because of social media posts. For example, they've posted on Facebook negative comments about their employer or certain things that are going on at work, and their employer has terminated them for these postings that they made. And in many cases, an employee will say to me, but hey, I've got freedom of speech. I should be allowed to say fair commentary on what's going on at work, and it should be okay. But the fact of the matter is that for a worker in an at-will employment state, which is most of the states in America, um, there is no right to be able to post on social media about your employer. And where there is no right, there's no legal action there to help individuals who get fired for that reason. Now, it could be that the individual may be able to get unemployment payments because that may not have been sufficient reason for unemployment insurance purposes to disqualify from receiving the weekly unemployment payments. However, in terms of wrongful discharge or discrimination, the typical things that we can help individuals with, there may be no rights there at all for social media posts. Now, some employers are actually updating their employment manuals so that the employees know that no derogatory comments can be made about the company on social media. And in those situations, the employer could argue for unemployment that you violated a company rule, that you knew there was a rule about derogatory social media posts and you violated that rule. But in terms of the First Amendment, freedom of speech, and things of that nature, that really only exists if your employer is the government. But if you're working for a major corporation or a smaller company, you're not going to have those First Amendment rights. Lastly, I will mention that under the National Labor Relations Act, there have been some new twists of freedom of speech coming out of that law that might give people the opportunity to get into court on a case where they're filed for their speech that they used. I am certainly not saying that those cases will go very far. But there is some precedent out there, some recent precedent, that indicates there could be a legal claim in those situations. But otherwise, employees would be, I would strongly suggest to employees not to be making derogatory comments about their employers because it could lead to their termination. And it could be that they have no legal rights to enforce with regard to wrongful termination for speaking about their employer on social media.